I just want to say real quick, I have something that's under testing and shows great promise, and another injector shows over 1500 cc. And so one thing overcome, and if we can overcome this issue, obviously I'll release them, and there's no extreme tuning required with them. But now on to the video about the 2000 cc injector. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you this box. Before I show you this box, don't go running out and buying them before you listen to the rest of what I got to say on this video, because it's very important. There are certain things that are absolutely important. So, I'm sorry this is backwards, but this is the part number for the XDI 2000 cc injectors. These are my original injectors that were in the car. I made 707 on a combination of my regular Fk8 TD injectors and methanol. I did not have the 2000 cc injectors in the car at the time. So, a lot of people complain about, well, I should say a lot of people, the few people that have been, I should say, attempting to get the 2000 cc injectors to function, have been really running into idle issues, surging and other things. And this became very apparent when I saw a message sent to one of my customers about the injectors. Now, I want you to keep in mind, I have tier 2 cams, a ported cylinder head, a 4-inch map housing, and I'm on a stock map sensor. I'm on Hondata. I am not on Motec, okay? They work, but the thing is, it's just really Can this be run with the CTR MAF 500? Yes, I've got a car that we did testing on. I would say we, me, and JSR. With the CTR MAF 500 and the Rampage Fabrication G-Series MAF housing. And the reason we did this is because the car ran out of MAF housing. Could I say that 2000cc injectors will work on with methanol? Yes, it works with methanol. I've already tested that. And I will be going back to the dyno after a few changes. And I want to just go further. I want to go deeper than 707. I want my ultimate goal is 725. I know that sounds weird. Like, who goes for like 7 and 25, you know? There are adjustments that you think, okay, this is good, that's a known good setting, and it just kind of won't work with the 2000cc injectors. So if you're on the East Coast, on the West Coast, go to JSR Engines in Covina, California. He will take care of the installs, and I will work with him, and he will put the car on a dyno, and I will e-tune it from here. I have a good standing relationship with them. We have a good understanding of these cars, so if there ever is an issue, we can hunt it down very quickly and fix it. I'm in Myrtle Beach. I have dyno access. Just need to set it up before we do the work so that I can take the car directly to the dyno right after. That covers here in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and coming here from the East Coast. Don't go out there and just go buy the 2000cc injectors without being set up with either myself or JSR Engines, because as far as I understand, I don't think there's anybody who's fully ironed this out, so to speak, and gotten past those certain problems. When I say iron this out, I mean in not just on my car, but ironed out what is the cause of each problem and what are the settings and adjustments required to fix those problems. Before I end this video, the reason I'm not going to just give out settings is because if I just hand you out settings, it's not necessarily going to work for your setup. It's a little bit more complicated than that. And even if you buy them and go to another tuner and I gave you these said settings, it does not mean that he's going to figure out how it works on the car. All I'm going to say is there are certain things that play a role with the start of injection, and that is essential on this car. If you mess with certain settings, it's going to throw that off. There are other options that are just selectable in there that just create a complication with it, an issue with it, where it just won't function together. That covers it. Don't forget, go to Fk8.com to check out my webpage. Hit the subscribe, the like, share the videos, and I will be selling the 2000cc injectors on my page. I am an XDI dealer, and I'm doing it now because they can be run on Hondata. Thank you again, and have a great day.